It's a Louis G's Wrestling Take. WWE Monday Night Raw had its final 3-hour show on USA Network last night. And folks, what a show to wrap up their 3-hour long stretches. The show started off really strong with Jey Uso coming in with the Intercontinental Championship and debuting a new title. I like the fact that they've changed it up a little bit. They've added some more blue to it, gave it some color. I thought it was a very interesting throwback to the Intercontinental Championship that we had in the early 2000s. It was great to see Braun Breaker show up, an interesting thing to see like him not attack Uso, but instead like give him respect, because I have read that they have been teasing that Breaker could possibly turn babyface in the future, and I like the idea that they had they teased a possible feud between him and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. I actually said in my video about Jey Uso winning the IC title that, I don't think Breaker was Breaker didn't look bad losing the title after only just holding it for like about a month or so. But I think it did a good job, because now we could like possibly set him up for future World Championship matches. And I actually did have this kind of early prediction that I feel like he could possibly win the 2025 Royal Rumble and face Gunther at WrestleMania. But again, that's just maybe it's a bit too early, but I think it could possibly go in that direction. I'm not sure of that just yet, but I think that was a very good build-up right there. And speaking of Gunther, some two big things with him. One, at a WWE live event show, he was wrestling Ilya Dragunov, and disappointing news that during the match, Dragunov suffered a torn ACL, and he will be out for 6 to 9 months. Really upsetting, considering that, he may debut on the main roster, was getting a lot of momentum going, and he's a great performer, and a lot of people would say that he's probably the guy that could possibly beat Gunther in the future. That's too bad. Hope he has a good recovery, and hope to see him back sometime soon. I like the fact that we're finally going to get a match between Gunther and Sami Zayn for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's been teased for a long time. I like the build up to it. I like the fact that there was Zayn saying, "Hey, I'm the only man that's ever beaten you on the main roster." I like the segment that they had with Bret Hart, with Gunther teasing Bret, with the Goldberg thing. I thought that was, wow, they really went there. And I think, again, there was just a lot of great buildup, and I think it's good we're finally going to get a match between these two. I had a feeling it was possibly could have been a bad blood, but considering how close we are to the show, it was definitely not the case. But instead, we're going to get that match next week. The New Day's breakup is continuing to have teases. We saw it with Xavier Woods defeating Rey Mysterio in shocking fashion, pulling off his mask. And, then, of course, there was that fiasco with Kofi Kingston against Chad Gable. And I like the fact that we're going to see Xavier Woods and Jey Uso next week for the Intercontinental Championship. I think that will be a very exciting match. And, I don't know when exactly the turn's going to happen, whether or not Woods just ultimately just kicks Kingston to the side and goes off on his own. We could possibly get a feud with these two, like maybe at Survivor Series, but that remains to be seen. But I think it's soon becoming that the New Day, just like with the Usos, no tag team is safe at this point, and it's gonna feel weird to finally see the New Day break up. But that's a topic for a later discussion. Speaking of tag team breakups, we had the Awesome Truth breakup with The Miz betraying R-Truth in a match against the Authors of Pain. And, folks, we knew that Awesome Truth, reunion wasn't going to last very long. They pretty much just got back together because of the momentum that Truth was getting in that storyline with the Judgment Day and Miz, after those incredible matches he had with Gunther for the IC title, his babyface turn, then reuniting and ultimately having a WrestleMania moment to win the tag team titles. That was pretty much all that was known for. I knew their tag team title reign wasn't going to last very long, and we just knew this breakup was on, So obviously there's going to be a feud between R-Truth and The Miz, but some fans would say like, hey, with Raw going down to 2 hours, like, are we gonna get any like time for this? It really just doesn't make sense. But yeah, I knew that reunion wasn't going to last very long. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre met in Hell in a Cell. This is a tease for their match this Saturday at Bad Blood. We still have no word yet on whether or not it will be the main event. I think it could be the main event. I mean, it's either that or the tag match. But I mean, come on, it's CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood, and that's been the case for all the Bad Blood pay-per-views. And in 1997, 2003, and 2004, they have to do this match. Like CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. The feel that these two have been on, like the feud that he's been having, can only be settled in Hell in a Cell. To me, it only makes sense that these two are the main event, and it's a way to close out the show and ultimately close out their feud. And speaking of which, in the main event of the show, we had Big Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman in a last monster standing match. What a way to end the show. These two just physical forces going at it, completely demolishing everything, the announce table, the barricades, not just the timekeepers area, but also in the front row. And then, of course, in a shocking matter, we got to see the ring imploded. It's been a long time since we've seen one of those. I can't remember when was the last time we got a ring imploding. I think that might have been maybe 2011 with the Big Show and Mark Henry. But no, that was absolutely excellent that we got to see, the match where these both physical forces of nature, giant physical guys, completely demolishing everything in their path. And I like the push that we're getting from Bronson Reed. I thought he was going to win it, and then lo and behold, here comes Seth Rollins returning from the injury that Reed gave him. The storyline obviously costing the match, and I thought it was a really good way to end that, because I don't think it makes Reed look bad. If anything, this could definitely going to set up the feud between Reed and Seth Rollins in the future. I think it's great that Reed's finally getting a push, and we're gonna possibly see more from him down in the line. Maybe this could possibly lead to him maybe even winning the Intercontinental Championship, and see what else goes on from there. But overall, I thought it was a good way for the show, for Raw to end the 3-hour shows. So now they're moving to 2-hour shows on USA Network. This is the case for the rest of the year until 2025 when Raw moves to Netflix. We don't know yet whether or not Raw will actually be a 3-hour show on Netflix, but that remains to be seen. This is just something that we're going to have to keep an eye out for. This has been a Louis G's Wrestling Take. If you like this, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Feel free to comment your thoughts down below on what did you think was great about that show? What did you not like about the show? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.